Level 4 is our most secure residential facility that we have. We have key cards that allow you access once you get in the building to go through all the different courtyards. So it's a more restrictive environment than maybe a level 3 where you don't have locks on the cottage doors. The kids can pretty much move freely throughout the campus without a staff having to scan a door to enter and depart.
We have different seasons. At one point, we'll have a bunch of kids that may struggle with self-harm. We have kids that typically exhibit elopement behaviors, physically aggressive behaviors. We have some kids who may be on the autism spectrum. It varies. The biggest fear that we had, and I know that I had, was that the courtyard would turn into total chaos. Controlled chaos, and it didn't happen. Surprisingly, it didn't happen. It was the total opposite. When we got rid of the points and we kind of sat down and talked to the kids and went over how it was going to go, it was almost a relief. You can tell the anxiety, the ease of the anxiety within the program. The kids were more willing to open up and talk about typical things and actually recite their goals, because they know that if they did meet that goal, they weren't going to fail or earn. That we would be able to talk to them and kind of problem solve as to why they didn't meet that goal for that day. So I think it was the total opposite of total chaos.
My biggest fear was that we would have a mass riot and we'd all have to come up there because it would just be total anarchy with us not being able to have those points, in which in our minds we previously thought that's how we held the kids accountable, that's how we kept order. However, that wasn't the case. It really, at that point in time, Ms. Gilmore had some difficult behaviors that she was trying to manage on the courtyard, and after a week or two of removing the points, things actually calmed down a little bit. Some of those behaviors subsided. I think the kids were more willing to engage in conversation with the staff members about the behaviors and, the unmet expectations versus fear of losing points. So I think it really brought a calm to the courtyard, and we actually saw behavior subside in those first 3 weeks that we implemented removal of the points. So I was very pleased and satisfied. In a level 4 facility, we have to maintain structure to keep the safety where it needs to be. So we definitely still have expectations that we set with the kids before transitioning to other parts of the building, before transitioning into other design activities that we have.
The expectations are definitely needed, and the goal is to be consistent with the expectations. When we introduce the removal of the point system and introduce the collaborative problem solving, we let the kids know that we still expect you to work on your treatment. We still expect you to meet these goals. The only difference is if they're not meeting the goals, then we're having conversations now about, okay, why do you think you're not able to meet this goal, or what caused you not to meet this goal? So we absolutely still expect them to to follow the guidelines that are set for the program, because you have to have expectation in order to maintain safety. I mean, that's the first thing that we think about with us being level 4 and just youth villages, period, that it's a safe place for the kids. So we definitely have the expectations. We use collaborative problem solving. I mean, I don't want to just say plan B, because there are times where we have to use the plan A. If the kid is exhibiting behaviors or doing something that might harm themselves, harm someone else, or they're trying to elope with things like that, then we may have to use plan A during that time. But typically, we try to use plan B as much as possible so that we can figure out the root of the problem or the root of the trigger. And sometimes we use plan C. If a kid is talking in line, we may plan C that and just let them go ahead and transition, but then when we come back, we're going to revisit that and, ask them, hey, what was so hard about you not talking while we was transitioning, from the courtyard to the gym? So collaborative problem solving.
I think it's greatly increased it. You have to build that rapport with the child. You can't just take their points and move on. You have to, if it's a behavior that needs to be addressed, you have that time to address it. I think a lot of the courtyards have planned time on the schedules where they focus on having plan B conversations and just spending that time talking with the child. I think it was so much easier just to take their points and move on to the next thing I have to do, versus now there's a lot more conversation around why did this act happen. I think staff are paying more attention to when is this happening, what is going on, just being real specific about the behaviors they're seeing. And doing the APT creates an opportunity for them to go and have an in-depth conversation with the child. And the kids seem to really enjoy those Plan B conversations as well.
I think that the rapport is greater on the courtyard. You can just see it. You can see the change in the TCs, and you can see the way that the kids respond to the TCs. It's a whole lot of conversation going on, and I think that the TCs can appreciate that, because they don't like for the kids to be angry with them or to have difficulties with the youth throughout the day, because they felt like it's their job to fill them to earn, because they did this wrong, they moved wrong, so I had to fill them to earn, and now they're angry at me about it because I did my job. Now they feel like they're able to efficiently do their job, because if they can address the issue without doing something they feel like is negative or is associated with negativity, the youth respond differently, and we're able to talk to these kids and come up with a solution to whatever the problem or issue may be. I'm happy we're using CPS. I mean, at first, I think everybody was skeptical about it. Like I said, the culture of the building was points, and if the kids did something, you felt them to earn, and then you moved on to the next thing. I think that now we're able to just help the kids work their treatment, because that's what we're here to do. We're able to keep the kids safe. We're managing them, and it's efficient. It doesn't have to be a punitive thing. We're able to build relationships with the kids. The kids are more willing and open to talk to us, and you can use the CPS with the adults too. So it works. It comes in handy, because there are several times where I've had to have collaborative problem conversations with my staff to figure out, what problems they were encountering or why they were having certain issues with kids. And so I think just all around, it's just beneficial to the culture of YV if we're truly trying to make progress and move forward with helping these kids.
I think overall it's just been a good culture change for us at Youth Villages, just being able to converse with the children, the issues that we see or the problems or the lagging skills. And like she mentioned, I say culture because we're now utilizing collaborative problem solving with our staff. And I think that just alleviates so much anxiety from people when you know that it's going to be a conversation versus just immediate, boom, I'm dropping the hammer on you, boom, I'm taking your points, boom, I'm just giving you this write-up. I think it allows the conversation, and it allows you to get to root issues. What is the real cause for whatever the unmet expectation is, versus just automatically coming in and I'm going to just, come down on you. So I think that has relaxed everybody a little bit in terms of things, and I'm pleased with it as well. Dealing with people that aren't truly invested in this, that are still having a hard time fighting the conventional wisdom behind the old way of doing things. And they stick out more so now, people that just don't want to give the youth opportunities to voice concerns or to really find out what the true cause of the unmet expectations are. So I think that's been challenging, trying to convert them, trying to get them to see the bigger picture of how this really is beneficial.
Definitely for me is having kids that didn't talk much or felt like they couldn't trust us, or they can only trust their counselors, be able to come up and ask for a Plan B conversation, to say I'm having a rough day, or I'm feeling anxious, or this happened, can I talk to you about it? That's the most rewarding part for me.
I think the rapport building, just knowing that building the rapport is eliminating future major crisis that could occur. I think anytime when you build that rapport between a staff member and a child, there's emotional deposits going both ways, from the staff to the child, and also the child into the staff member. And that's just so crucial when you have those chaotic crisis moments. But being able to pull from those deposits, will help keep things safer. So I think overall, just that rapport that's being built between the staff and the kids.
Well, me personally, I'm just excited for the new staff that we're getting, the new TCs, the kids that are coming in that we can help through collaborative problem solving. It's a different culture, and it's a good feeling to know that you can help the kids. Just organically, being able to talk to them, being able to reach them, being able to be therapeutic and actually do less restraints, have the environment be less chaotic, and just to see the change in the staff. The staff are gravitating towards this program. We've been implementing it, and I think that it's a good thing for everybody. So I'm just excited for more field trips. The kids, they're excited. They've been to the museum, they've been skating, they've been to all types of places that would have been unheard of just several months back at the Growth Center. With being a level 4 facility, they don't get that many opportunities, and a lot of those kids outside of the residential facility didn't have that type of opportunity to go to the places that we're visiting now. So to see them come back and be able to tell you, hey, Ms. Gilmore, we went to the IMAX theater and they had this plane and it did this and it did that, that's really rewarding.
Moving forward, I think we're going to only improve with this. I think once we've rolled it out, I think by the end of this year, we'll have it rolled out to all our residential programs here in Tennessee. And I think it's just a good philosophy for us to get a hold of and be implementing in our programs. So I'm very optimistic and look forward to see what the future holds.